So we just click on the loan tab down bottom here, and here's my loan. I have four things in blue that I'm going to put in. The rest are going to be all formulas. Principal, that's how much we borrow. So I'm going to put in a really large number. The APR is the annual percentage rate. Again, you need to look these up and see. So we're going to go 20%. That's a lot larger than normal. The daily is going to be the annual divided by 365. So I go equals, click on there, go divided by 365. And the payment, we're going to try $10,000. Nope, that's $100,000. Let's go 10,000 and see how that works. Okay, we're going to start with today's date, which when I'm doing this is 5/13/2020. It puts it in as a number. I'm going to have to change that so that it is a date. So I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to click on this and go short date. And there we go. Now it's the short date. Now the rest of this is all formulas. The first thing I'm going to do is set this up so that I make my payments every day on the same date. And so we have a function that does that for us, and that's called Edate. So I go equals, I type in E-D-A-T-E, always put an opening parenthesis. Now I'm going to tell it two things. One, what date to start with. So I click on 5/13/2020 up there, put in a comma, and then I got to tell it how many months in advance we're going to go. I could go 6 months in advance, 2 months in advance, 12 months in advance, but we're going to do it monthly. So I'm going to put a 1 in there for 1 month. And now you'll see the number come up again. I change that to short date, and now it's June 13th, 2020. And as I copy that all the way down to the bottom, oops, went too far. Oh, copy it one more. We see this goes up to 5/13/2025. Now, remember what those mean? That means that the column is not wide enough to fit the information. So I'm just going to make it a little bit wider, and now it all fits in there. The number of days is how many days between the last payment and the next payment. And so all I have to do is subtract. I'm going to go equals, and I take the later date, so I'm going to take the 6/13 and subtract 5/13. 31 days. I don't need the zeros, so I'm going to get rid of them. And now I can copy that all the way down. Remember, you got to take the older date first and subtract the earlier date. I have people do it the other way, and they end up with a negative number, and all you have to do is switch it around if you have a negative number. Paste that all the way down. Okay, my interest. My interest is going to be how much I owe. Actually, let's fill that in first. I want to put in how much I owe here, so I'm just going to go, that's our principal up here. Balance is the principal. So I'm going to hit equals, click on the principal, hit enter. I'm going to make it dollars, and it already makes it wide enough to fit in there. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Interest is going to be the balance times the number of days times the daily interest rate. And I need to lock in that interest rate because it's always going to stay right there in B3. The other stuff is going to move down as we copy it down, but this is going to stay right in B3. So I hit enter. I change that to $sign. I'm going to copy that down all the way. And you'll see I get a bunch of zeros. And that's okay because I have a bunch of zeros because I don't have any numbers in here for it to calculate off of. So that's okay. This one here is the payment, and all I'm going to do is go equal, click on the payment there. I'm going to lock in that 4 so that I can copy that all the way down. Change it to $sign. Copy it all the way down. Okay, now the last thing, not the last thing, but the second, third to last thing, whatever. Next thing I want to do is new balance. The new balance is always the old balance minus the payment plus the interest. You'll see I'm not paying it off fast enough because that interest is bigger than the payment. But that's okay. We'll fix that in a bit. So I have to remember that the balance is going to be, the new balance is the old balance plus interest minus payment. And I said that the other way around. It really doesn't matter. I can do it either way. And we'll end up with the same number. See if I go equals balance minus payment plus interest, I still end up with the same number. Copy that all the way down. Now, I'm going to change this number here so that I end up paying money back. If you look, I actually owe more because my interest is always more. So my interest has to be at least, my payment has to be at least more than the interest. So I'm going to start with $20,000. And now I scroll all the way down and I see, okay, I'm paying it off, but not fast enough. Well, that's what this box is for. This cell is for. I'm going to go equals, scroll all the way down to the bottom, hit enter. I get the hashtags because it's too small. The box is too small, but I'm actually just going to make the font smaller. I'm going to make it 18. Okay, now I'm going to make this number bigger and bigger and get this as close to 0 as possible. So I'm going to try 30,000. I went into the negative. Those parentheses mean that the number is negative, which means I paid too much. So I'm going to try a smaller number. I'm going to try 27,000. Better. How about 26,000? Now I haven't paid enough. So let's go 26,500. Getting really close, but it's got to be negative, at least a little bit negative. So I'm going to try 26,600. Oh, 25,600. No, wait. 26,500, 26,600. And that's too high. So I'm going to try 26,550. Still a little too high. 26,525. I'm going to go 26,520. 26,510. There we go. That's real close. It's negative, and it's a lot less than this payment. So that means my last payment down here is going to be a little bit less than 26,500. It's going to be, well, $130.67. And now we're done. We have this all filled in. If we go over here, back to budget, we see that that 26,500 shows up right there, just like it's supposed to. And there, we are now done.